Hello YouTubers, this is a small video where I'm going to look into the lens because apparently my eyes are all dodgy when I'm looking at my screen like this. Apparently it's all dodgy, so I have to avoid that. I have to look at the camera now. Okay, I'll try to look at the camera. This is about Common Purpose, and Common Purpose is an organisation which is recruiting people around the country and graduating them in their training courses. And basically they try to target big government bodies, big institutions, because it costs a lot of money for these courses, upwards of £4,000 per person, or £5,000 for the extra course, you know, which is a lot of money, and that money's getting pulled out of the taxpayer's pocket in order to fund this charity, which gets tax exemption, called Common Purpose. Now, Common Purpose will train people to kind of think differently, to look at who they are and be able to be different types of people who can operate in different areas than their normal expertise. And whereas everybody might sort of be worried about operating in areas you don't know much about, this is okay, because what you have to kind of learn about yourself is that when you make mistakes, it's more about you being a leader and leading people and not worrying about those mistakes so much. It's more about being in charge and having the confidence and authority to carry through what you need to do, even in areas that you don't know anything about and might actually cause mistakes in. And it's always something goes bleep when I'm doing a bloody YouTube video, sorry. Anyway, it'll go bleep again in a second. Anyway, where was I? Saying to you, it's okay if you fail, if you're doing something that you're not really meant to do. So say you're an MP and you're in charge of education, and the reason you got the job as an MP because you're in charge of education is because you have experience in an education background. And then they say, oh well, but you're such a good MP, why don't we make you in charge of I don't know, something like petrol and the environment? And of course you have no experience in that area at all, so you start stumbling and you start asking for opinions of other people, and you start amalgamating it all together, and you put out statements, and then people go, this is rubbish, and they start slagging you off, and then you have to make retractions, and people start saying, well, who is this guy, and he has no experience. But that's all okay, because you're taking part as a leader. You're leading people into areas that you shouldn't be ashamed, you know, to make mistakes and move forward. And don't be fooled by perceptions, you know. Don't look at a person and judge them based on their perceptions. You should sort of see the deeper meaning. Well, all of these things are truisms, but also they're bullshit. Now, I just made a statement to somebody, which I thought I'd put on YouTube and sort of record it, is that if you are a crap footballer, right, and you can't play football like I can't, yeah, you got 2 left feet, you can't kick a football to save your life. Now, then you get into the environment which is a football game, and the ball comes towards you and you can't kick it, and you kick it off in the wrong direction. Now, you become an embarrassment. You become somebody that nobody's going to want to kick the ball to. You become somebody who is not really part of the game because you are not suited to that environment. And for Common Purpose to be saying, oh well, you know, just get involved, just be part of it, is bullshit. Now, they've got a website, and I want you, and I'll reiterate, that is bullshit, okay? Now, they've got a website, and their promo video on the beginning starts like this. I'm going to simulate it because I can't nick it because I'll get in trouble for it, but it simulates like this. Right, they show a picture. Now, there's music running in the background, emotive music as well, and then what they say is, what do you see? A problem? So, you know, look at this guy. What do you see? A problem? Yeah? And then they switch. Hang on, let me see if I can get this working. And then they switch to another picture, which is Wall Street. And they say, someone else's responsibility? Question mark. Someone else's responsibility? And then they go to this picture, which sort of, you know, might... It's like nurses and doctors, but they're all looking away from the patient, you know, and the question is, will it ever change? And then they say, look again, look again. So let's do it. Let's simulate what they show in their video. So they say, look again. Right, this guy, okay, it says, volunteers at a homeless shelter and opened a community day centre. Oh, okay. These guys, the one on the left picking his eye, bought an electric car, reducing emissions by 15%. The black guy in the background works on a counselling hotline. And the guy off to the left with his back facing us, what does he do? He's on the board of a social enterprise. Okay, right. Then we go on to the nurses, and it says someone else's responsibility, or yes, the nurse on the left with a hand sets up partnerships with local schools to reduce obesity. The one in the back left spends 1 day a month working in a different department, and the white doctor on the right mentors a young entrepreneur. And then it goes on to say, will it ever change unless we change our perception? Okay. Then it goes on to quote Albert Einstein, and it says, we can't solve problems by using the same type of thinking as when we created them. Albert Einstein. So, associating this group called Common Purpose with actually quite a clever bloke. So, trying to sort of, gain instant credit by, using somebody else's quote and saying, oh, look, aren't we really cool? We can quote, oh, yes. So, it said, the final point they make is, what could you do to challenge the way you see the world? Okay, fair point. What could you do to challenge the way you see the world? But they've portrayed these people. They've said, look, this person, works at a volunteer centre. This person works at a homeless shelter, and his mate works at a community day centre. These people, they do all these things like reducing obesity, working in a different department, mentors a young entrepreneur. And then at the end of the video, they show this, which is Common Purpose, take a step. Yeah, and then underneath in the small writing, which is very small, it says images and music courtesy of iStockPhoto.com and Perpetual Tourist 2000, right? All statements attributed to persons featured in this video are fictitious. Any resemblance to real persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental. Right? All statements attributed to persons featured in this video are fictitious. Any resemblance is coincidental. So hang on a minute. This organisation, which has a lot of secrecy and, won't answer a lot of questions about how it operates, and seems to be putting people into positions of power and networking them all so they'll all get each other up the ladders and things like this. This organisation, which operates very much like the secret societies do, they get you in, they give you a load of spiel and bullshit and NLP and pats on the back and, oh yes, you're part of us now, you can go out and make mistakes in the world and fuck things over and not feel bad about it because we've trained you and brainwashed you into not really giving a fuck about what you do, and if you're shit and if you can't stand up on your own 2 feet and you're crap, but you're a leader, you can just lead people off the edge of a cliff like lemmings, but it's okay because you have to feel good about yourself and don't judge a book by its cover. Just because you're the guy leading people off the edge of the frigging cliff doesn't mean you're a murderer. It just means you're a leader. You're leading them off the edge of the cliff. I think this is complete and utter bullshit. And they are using NLP techniques in their videos. And considering the whole video you watch, they admit to at the end they've actually conned you with the whole video, because the whole video is to say, well, look at this guy, look what he does, and he's really nice actually, and look at these people, and they look like they're really bored, in the stock exchange, but actually they're really nice people because they do this, and look at these people here, and they look like nurses, and they look like they're not that interested in the patient, but actually they do really lots of things in society, and they're really great. Well, I tell you what, to then pull the rug out underneath everybody at the end of the video and say, what we've just made you watch here for about 5 minutes is actually a complete load of bullshit. We couldn't find any real people, right, that we could put in the video that have real faces, real stories, real things that they've done which are good, that we have worked with in Common Purpose. They couldn't find anybody to put in the frigging video, and they had to use stock item footage, stock photographs. What a pile of bollocks! Who are these people? Bloody Freemasons under a new brainwashing guise. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. Don't listen to